Tune in to Ticats Postgame immediately after the final whistle. Andy Fantuz and I will take you through everything that happened in tonight's game and have exclusive interviews with Coach O and one of the Ticats players, plus some alumnus analysis with Bakari Grant, only at ticats.ca and on the Ticats All Access app. And speaking of some alumnus analysis, let's bring in one of the greatest to ever do it here with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Happens to be a Hamilton native himself, the all-time leading tackler, Wall of Honor inductee, a Grey Cup champion. Just tell me when I can stop throwing superlatives at you, Hitch. How you doing? Rob Hitchcock, thanks for joining us.
You can stop. Hey, boys, how are you?
We're doing well. We were just talking. Andy's got some great memories of playing in Montreal. You know, we're getting the film in. We're watching that stadium. Just a great place to play.
Oh, it is. When I first started, we started in the Big O, and then when we got into McGill, it was just that atmosphere. Fans right on top of you, just kind of like the old Ivor Wynn, but a little more compact. With I think there was only about 18,000 or 17,000 at the time until they got a little bigger. But what a great place. Just loved always going to Montreal.
Hitch, Andy here. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, Ben. How you doing?
I'm good. I miss you. So as an offensive player, I'm looking for a drastic improvement on that side of the ball for the Ticats. What have you seen so far this season, and what are your expectations here for tonight?
Well, I'll tell you, watching that first game against Winnipeg and seeing them march down the field, I think it was 5 or 6 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. I thought, wow, they haven't missed a stride in the last 2 years. Coming off 15-3, I think they were before when they were in the Cup. So it's just one of those things where I thought that they were going to do a lot better. And then, when you lose a couple of guys on the offensive line, it's tough. When we were looking back at when I played, we had some great seasons, some really crappy seasons as well. But I think the guys just got to get back to the basics. Coach O's probably got them back and just said, guys, let's take this one game at a time, one play at a time. Trying to calm them down a bit, because the expectation with Grey Cup in Hamilton this year, it's, hey man, we got to go out and win every game. Well, you don't, but it'd be nice to win every single game. To give yourself a shot to go in. So I do see, the offense, 9 turnovers I think they've got this year. They're last in the running game. Got to get back to what worked for them a couple of years ago and just kind of move from that.
Orlando Steinhauer, former teammate of yours, and to yourself and him, defensive greats for the Tiger Cats. What have you seen on the defensive side of the ball? From my perspective, I've actually felt like they haven't done too poorly. They've just been on the field way too long and getting worn down, and eventually starting to slip on their tackling a little bit as the game wears on. What have you seen, and what's your take?
Kind of the exact same thing as that. They've been on the field a lot. It takes a lot out of you when you're, not just the fact that, the turnovers and you're back on the field. You get a play or two off and then you're back on the field, and the momentum it's tough as a defensive player when you're out there a lot. But it's never pointing fingers. That it's just one of those things where you just go out. If that play just happened, you got to go out as a defense. You got to go back out and do it. But the fatigue factor, like you said, they haven't been playing well, or haven't been doing that bad. They've been. I think they should blitz a little bit more. I just in a couple of games that I've watched, it's for me. I like to see a little more pressure. And when you can do that against some teams, especially a young quarterback tonight, I know he can move out of the pocket pretty quick. But if you can get in those lanes and keep him and contain this guy and just blitz the heck out of him, I think they'll be successful for sure.
Wall of Honor inductee for the Ticats, Rob Hitchcock, our guest here on Tiger Cats pregame, presented by Active Green and Ross. And Hitch, like Andy alluded to, Coach O well, and I've been talking to people about him throughout the last few weeks here, just going about his leadership style. And a word that people always keep bringing up is authentic. He's such an authentic guy. When things are good, he'll let you know. When things are bad, they'll let you know. What's the advantage of having a guy like that in the locker room as your leader, when things aren't going so well?
Well, it's amazing to have a coach like that, because he's just been out of the game for 13, 14 years. He still knows what it takes in that locker room. He knows what the guys need. He's surrounded himself with some great coaching, the great coaching staff, and built a championship team. There's no question that these guys are better than what their record is right now. It's just a matter of getting focused and staying focused. And Coach O definitely has those attributes. I mean, he's a definitely player's coach. Will come in and he'll tell you if you're not doing something right, and he'll tell you if you're not doing something. If you're doing something right, he'll tell you. So he's just one of those guys that is. It was a pleasure to work with him and play with him for a bunch of years, and just to get to know him as a good friend. He's a quality guy and someone that you'd want on your sideline.
Rob, I've had different coaches in my career kind of approach divisional games differently. Some where it's a 4-point game, and some where just it's like any other game in the year. This is the first divisional game of the season for the East Division. How much importance does that have for you in your experience?
Well, having Don Southern as my rookie coach, old school, he took every game. Like we need to go out there and win every single game and pound everybody. But with the Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, those games, they needed to be won because especially with this short season right now, with the limited games that they have, you got to establish your spot in the standings. And right now, of course, it's the only second game. It's not panic, but there's lots of games to go. But we definitely wanted to beat every single team. But in your own division, you definitely got to win those ones.
Hitch, Vernon Adams Jr. has a calling card. He can scramble, he can beat you that way, but he loves to throw the ball deep. He loves to throw up those kind of jump balls. He trusts his receivers. As somebody in the secondary, do you kind of lick your chops when you have an opportunity when you know that you might be going up for 3, 4, 5, 50-50 balls? Is that something that as a competitor, you kind of took advantage of or looked at on the schedule?
Totally. We had a couple guys that could throw the rock back in the day. Tracy Ham and those guys in Montreal would love to throw the ball, deep. And we would, I would always play a little bit deeper. And I was, being a safety, I'd like to play off about 10, 12 yards and come up on the run. But you're the guys who you're playing with, and that they can throw it. They want to go deep. You're gonna play a little bit deeper just to kind of get that, get in that area where you can make that interception or big hit. In the secondary. So I'm sure these guys understand, but at least they watched what Calgary did to Montreal last week and got a few picks off them from those deep balls. And there are definitely some guys that could go up there and grab one today.
We talked in the first couple games about the importance of a turnover on the defensive side of the ball, and the Tiger Cats haven't gotten one yet in 2 games. And aside from just that stat itself as a turnover, what does that do for defensive morale and the attitude along the sideline after a pick or a fumble?
Well, I mean, yeah, anytime you get a turnover, momentum change for sure. But it just helps the D. They know that they're going to get some this year. It's not going to be go out and do your job. If everyone's doing their job and you're working together as a unit, things will happen for you. We were the years that I played, we were pretty fortunate. We had a lot of picks, a lot of forced fumbles with Montford, Tim Terry, and the guys up front that just caused havoc for a lot of offenses. So it was real nice when you've got that front 4 or front 7 that can go up and basically control the game and just let balls go up in the air and we can go get them. But you're slowly going to start to see that. Guys are still rusty. It's been a little while since you've played some games, so the COVID itch is still there. So guys will be fine.
I love that approach, not to put too much pressure. Just go do your job, and good things will happen. Just focus on the process, not the result. I love it, Hitch.
That's it, my man. That's it.
Hitch, I heard a rumor that you're joining our broadcast for Labor Day next week.
I will be there. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Looking forward to it.
Our sideline reporter next week, one of the all-time greats, Rob Hitchcock. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, you guys have a great night.
Yeah, you too. The all-time leading tackler for the Ticats, Rob Hitchcock, a Wall of Honor inductee. And that reminds me, Mr. Fantuz, congratulations. It was announced last week you'd be joining the Plaza of Honor for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Congratulations, man. I'm truly happy for you.
Thank you, Louie. Thank you. it is an amazing honor to be recognized amongst greats in that province. They love their football. They welcomed me with open arms when I went there in 2006, and I really truly enjoyed my time in Saskatchewan, and I'm just very grateful and gracious to hear that news and accept it. So I'm looking forward to heading back out there in October and seeing some old friends and faces around the organization. But thank you. It's truly humbling. And
we'll get you back. I know that it's a weekend game, and we got a Thanksgiving Monday that game, so I know you won't even miss a game. That's how dedicated you are. This is Tiger Cats pregame, presented by Active Green and Ross, broadcasting on ticats.ca, the Ticats All Access app at 900 CHML. Very pleased to bring in the Bastel's Big Three, presented by Sports Interaction, and conveniently, David Bastel of Sports Interaction is on the line with us now. David, thanks for doing this.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're doing well. Big game here for the Ticats with Dane Evans in there, and his over under set at 272.5 yards. Take us through your big three.
Well, yeah, let's start off with Evans right there, guys. And you've been talking about it all pregame so far. We're talking about a 1A quarterback in the CFL. This guy is a starter, maybe a backup on the Ticats right now, but a starter overall. And when you look back at some of the numbers against Montreal, they just point to the over. You look back at the 2019 season of Week 3, 379 yards in a win against the Owls. Even in 2018, back-to-back appearances. One was 318 against the Alouettes in Week 21. Came off the bench against Johnny Manziel's Alouettes, by the way, 3 for 3 for 52 yards. You look at what Jeremiah Mazzoli has done to the Alouettes secondary. Back-to-back 400-yard games in 2019. I really like the over here. I think Dane Evans has a 300-yard game, so take the over at minus 120.
How much of that production do you see coming from Brandon Banks?
I see a lot of it happening. When you look at some of the history of Banks against the Owls, it's been really a game changer. And you're talking about a receiver last season, and we're talking about 2019, of course. We saw a 200-yard game against the Owls, a 151-yard game against the Owls, an 86-yard game against the Owls. This guy eats up the Alouettes secondary. I think he does it again. My selection over the 82.5 receiving yards today, and it's time for a Speedy to break out, don't you think?
Oh, well said. That's definitely something we've been waiting to see. And let's round out your big three here. I see live right now the point spread on sportsinteraction.com for the game is 1.5 for the Ticats. But for the first half, it is just at half a point. And what are you taking here?
Yeah, I'm taking the Cats at the half. I think this team has to be motivated coming off that bye week. Couple weeks to prepare for a divisional rival. You know they want to get into that win column. You know they want to get into a big, fast start. Hamilton, by the way, 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games against the Alouettes in Montreal. I like Hamilton to win this game, but bet them on the half for sure for my 3 takeaways of this game.
Love it. David, thanks for doing this.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bastel's big three. He likes Dane Evans over 272.5 passing yards. He likes Brandon Banks over 82.5 receiving yards. And he likes the Ticats in the first half. And don't worry, you can take that advice. It's great advice. But we'll also have an in-game play with our halftime handle during Tiger Cats at the half. All right, coming up next, we're going to be speaking with the enemy. We're going to be joined by Marco Bruyette of TSN 690 in Montreal. That's all coming up here on Tiger Cats pregame, presented by Active Green and Ross.